Hey YouTube, it's Katie. I'm going to make a couple of videos on different things that I have learned through my job. I'm a waitress, and some of the different things that I have learned that are handy, that can be used in life, that from my work I have been able to apply them to life, and that have somewhat helped me improve. Okay, here we go. Also, I have a couple notes here, so if you see me looking over or down, it's because I am referring to them so that I stay on track. So it's nothing too important. Words. The things you say, the way you speak, the tone of your voice. I work at a retirement community. It is different than a nursing home. And I will explain that probably in a different video. But the way you speak, the voice you use, the words you use, the way you say the words you choose, and the tone of voice that you use, they're all important. Sometimes you have to speak louder so that the older people can hear you. Sometimes they don't need you to talk so loudly, and things like that. But what you say, how you greet them, a hi, hello, how are you, and obviously in life, you've been talking since before you probably can remember. It's kind of a vital thing to know how to talk and speak and everything. And there's the polite manners of thank yous and your welcomes and excuse me and, you know, polite manners and ways you speak with that. But just your words in general, some of the first things that they said, one of the most common phrases, and you hear it multiple times a day, I'm behind you. Sometimes you can have a tray of dirty dishes and you're unloading them and people say, I'm behind you. That's a way for them to say, to let you know where they are so that you do not turn around and smack their tray of dirty dishes onto yourself or on the floor or into them or whatever. If you're out walking around behind the residence, and they let you know where they are so that you're careful with them and they're careful with you. And also, if you're back in the kitchen getting salads or soups or whatever, it's nice to know where people are and where they stand so that no one gets hurt. And in life, this should be pretty self-explanatory, but if people say, I'm behind you, that to me means I support you in your decisions in life, and it lets them know where you stand, whether you're a sibling, or you're their parent, or you're their child, or an aunt, or an uncle, or a grandparent, or a friend, whatever the case is. If you let people know where you stand, where you are, then they know. So, I'm behind you. Patience. When I was a little girl, I was not the most patient child. I mean, I had my moments when I was really patient and moments when I was really not patient. And sometimes I still struggle with that. That's okay, though. There's always something I'm trying to work on, and I've become more patient. But patience with everyone else. In my job, sometimes people don't like what they're going to have, or they need to really think about what you're offering them as a meal, to make sure they're not allergic to it, or something they don't like, or whatever. Or if they want something different, they're just in the mood for something different. Sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to really make sure it's what they want, to really process it, think it through, everything like that. And that takes longer. And that's okay. That's totally fine. But to have patience and not rush all the time, that's okay too. Also, patience with yourself. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm doing the best I can and that I need to not... It's always good to try and be an overachiever and say you need a goal to be met here and yet you meet it here. You're like that much over your goal of what you need it to be, and that's great. But sometimes you say, I've got a goal here, and you only meet your goal. And you need to be okay with that and be patient with yourself, because if you're doing the best you can, then that's the best you can do, and you need to be patient with yourself and remember that. So patience with everyone else in the world and who you're working with, your family, your friends, your siblings, everyone. I mean, But be patient with yourself too, because you are an important human being and you need to take care of yourself. Let's see. Positive attitude and a smile. This one is self-explanatory for life, but I will give you a few scenarios. My residents know when I'm not having a good day, or something, because I sometimes smiling is hard. If I'm not having a good day, if I'm not feeling too good, or if in general, sometimes I get so concentrated on what I'm doing so that I can be like this, that I get so concentrated on how I'm doing my job to the best of my abilities, my personal abilities, that I forget to smile. And my residents will bring it up. They will say either, "Oh my gosh, your smile is just so contagious," or something along those words, or, "Katie, what's wrong? Why aren't you smiling?" Or something like that, because they've come to know that I do smile a lot. And sometimes they'll say, most of the time it's because I'm very concentrated on what I'm doing, or I'm very concentrated on what I'm doing, but I've got 10 million other things that I'm thinking about at the time, whether it's a family problem, a family situation, or siblings, or my parents, or my friends, or just in general, things that I need to be thinking about. So keep a smile. I mean, it's not hard to smile. Sometimes if you're not having a good day, sometimes I've gone to work and I've just not had a good day, whether I don't know. Sometimes I just don't have a good day, and that happens to all of us. Everyone. So I think just keeping a positive attitude. If you really have a hard time smiling for a day, I don't know, maybe think of something that keeps you happy or makes you happy. Positive outlook on life. I know not everything all the time is going to be peachy keen or the way you want it to be, or smooth sailing, and that's okay. That's something good to know. Hold on, I need to take care of my cat. Go out. Sorry, I'm back. He wanted out. Positive attitudes with making sure life is not always going to be easy and simple, and that's okay. If you can come to understand that, that makes life a lot easier. If you can say, I know it's not going to be okay right now, but it will be okay soon. That's a way to keep a positive attitude. Remember, there's always a silver lining around the cloud, or whatever the saying is that you prefer to live your life by. So that's something. Let's see. You can't please everyone. Now, when I first started at my job, they told me this, and I did not believe them. I thought, there's got to be some way I can make everyone happy. And sometimes there is. Sometimes there are days when everyone wants just exactly everything the way it is. And most of the time, though, they're different. They're unique. They're themselves, and they want something different than someone else. And you can't always please everyone in life. We are all different. We all have things that we like. Some people may like something about you, and other people may not like that same thing about you. If they have a problem with your personality, your looks, the way you talk, the way you speak, what you talk about, how smart you are, you know, whatever the problem is, that's not really your problem. You don't have control over that. That's more their problem. And if they have issues with you, maybe they can sit down and talk about it with you. And if it's not really that important to them, or they don't care that much, then obviously they don't care that much, and so it's not really a big deal either way. As long as you can love yourself and embrace yourself. As for now, I'm going to make a couple more of these videos, but I will see you in a few minutes, YouTube.